technically don't even need them for this. Like, I can read all this. They help a little bit with gaming. They don't help a lot, but really they help with like what is it? Like if I'm actually playing a video game and
Yeah.
my eyes strain, I try to not wear them if I'm not.
I mean,
Getting
I wear contacts 24/7. The only reason I'm wearing glasses right now is because I'm waiting for more contacts to finally get in. I had to go to my optometrist and get my
That's fair.
annual checkup done, which my eyesight hasn't changed as it hasn't in a while. But look it up. You know what's bad? Look at my nose. Look at the imprint that it
Mhm.
leaves every fucking time because I got a big ass nose. Can't stand it. Cannot stand it. Also, the thought of like stuff being blurry around here.
Yeah,
What fun is that?
yeah,
Who thought that was a good idea? Just put contacts in. Then they sit on your eye lens and you see everything without issue.
yep. No, it's true. And like I don't know, I've not liked getting used to over the ear headphones not really working simply because glasses are like
Oh yeah.
just pushing into your head or they sit weird because of it, but
You need uh you need
yeah.
like a very specific type of headphone that adjusts for glasses. Like that is able to
Yeah.
like push in a little bit better. But the problem is they go bad quicker.
Yep.
Because I remember like the first high end headset that I ever bought was the Turtle Beach like XL or whatever pro headset it was that they released with optic back in like 2014.
Hmm.
I like they had specific dents like on the side of them like prep because Scump wore glasses and if he was gonna like sell something like that he wanted it to be a headphone that could push in with glasses and not
Interesting.
feel like it was uh really like
Yeah.
pushing on you. I mean, I also stopped wearing them because that's right about the area where I'm starting to lose my hair. So I'm trying not to wear as many headphones that would pull out my hair.
Fair
Trying to
enough.
trying to slow down the process, not speed it up.
Fair enough. Oh.
How you feeling though?
Oh,
How was your week?
I've actually gotten a cold, I think, today.
Same.
I don't know what I got, really.
Nose stuffed up
Because,
or running or nose like stuffy but
yeah,
running a little bit and like you can feel.
nose runny, bit of a sore throat.
Yep.
Not fun. I blame my nieces. Uh, or maybe it was yesterday. We just won too fast, so I got sick.
I mean, quite possibly. You can't disprove that.
Yeah.
We are too sick of the
I
game that it translates to IRL.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what stakes for the team we played? They play next week the other team that hasn't like lost a game at all yet.
Oh
Even
Jesus.
like they've only 2-0'd in all their series.
Do we play them
So
at all? Or are they one of the teams
no,
that we
we
don't play?
never play them.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it kind of sucks because right now they have a better head-to-head record, so they own the tiebreaker on us, and we have no shot to ever like
To ever
beat them.
rectify. Yeah, we can't ever directly do
Yep.
anything. So what you're telling me is there's a problem with formatting. Sounds familiar.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, there is I guess it's a slight problem with format, but it's also like there's so many teams, this is bound to happen.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
a
fair.
ninth week would have been the fix, but at the same time, we play. It's one of those things of like, does it suck? Yes, because we can't technically beat them to get first, but it's also like we've known this since the jump
Yeah.
that there's one team we're not playing, and technically, if we would have lost to them, we never have to risk it. Like right now, the rest of the teams we play are technically easier than them and the other team we just beat. So
And because of bracket draws, we would never
yeah,
face them until finals. If we both go
yeah,
1-2, we like
yeah,
that. Imagine the storyline on that though. The two teams that were in the same group both go potentially undefeated, never had the
yeah,
chance to play each other until finals.
yeah. With
That
a
would
good chance. Oh, that is a good point. Yeah,
that's a
undefeated series never played each other. That is wild.
not until finals.
I don't think our group is as good as the other group.
Really?
Yeah, the other group has a lot of diamonds in it.
So we're basically just getting cucked by like not easier. I mean, we'll see come playoffs because like
Yeah, yeah. For sure.
You just got to put up or shut up. And we're due for a bad like series and bad set of games one of these days. It happens.
True, true.
It
It
happens
does
every
happen.
year.
Although our team 1 is like cracked.
A little
Like,
bit. Little
well,
bit.
we finally figured out how to win game 1 and it's just over. Like,
I can't find out how to win a game when I'm 4-0 in lane. So
yeah.
I just lost. I lost last game. We were 4-0 and up 25 CS at 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we lost because their top lane, Darius Udyr, went 18-1.
Oh, who are you playing with?
We were playing with a Lilia, Aatrox, Swain, and Nafiri.
No, I mean, who are you doing with?
Nobody. It was just solo queue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, that is tough.
that's the
I will say I
life of
like
an
Ashe
indie.
a lot, though.
Same. I enjoy Ashe.
I am coming around to Ashe a lot. The amount you can do in lane feels pretty good, but
Especially if you have a team
it's
that
a
can play
con.
around it.
Oh yeah.
Because like if they all dive onto me,
Yeah.
but then you kill everybody else, like who really lost at the end of the day?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
So, what topic do you want to go in on first? Because this is pretty much, well, let me intro this. Welcome, everybody. Late as always to the Crossover Podcast. I'm David. This is Paul. You can never tag Paul in photos on Twitter for some weird reason, but you can at him at TarHeels2350. One of these days, I'll figure out how to do a podcast where we don't have to use Discord video, but that day is definitely not going to be today. I don't know about you, but what's been your perception of the LCS this past week? Of like news surrounding it, storylines, everything. Like what has been like if you had to give a 1-sentence summary of the LCS this past week, what would you say it was?
Of the LCS, like
Of everything
just
LCS related, what is like the 1-sentence synopsis that you would give me for this past week?
1 sentence synopsis. I would probably say like, does it exist? Because they literally just took it away. They did a 2-week break.
3-week
They're
break.
doing a 3-week break. Yikes! And the week before that they played into the Super Bowl. So, like their final send out week was not a good idea. Then their break coming just made it even easier to forget it exists. And then they announce the one time they do come back is them saying, "Right back to Easter Sunday, baby. We're running it back. You thought it was bad one time, we can do it again."
The worst part was I didn't realize it until I forget his name, but it's NRG something. Not actually with NRG, just like a fan of it. He's doing a watch party up in Canada, and he was messaging me, or he just messaged me like, "Hey, thanks for giving me some info on it," because we were DMing about it, and he's like, "It's kind of odd, like we're just doing it at our university because it's kind of tough with it being Easter Sunday to do anything anywhere." And I didn't think about it because New York doesn't shut down here. Like we have a very large Jewish population here in New York City, so obviously, like for them, it's not a holiday. So the city goes on as normal here. Like things don't shut down in the same way that like suburban and the rest of America does. So I kind of, when you get in the New York bubble, you forget about it. But the second he said that, I was like, no, you're lying. We did not put it on Easter Sunday again. We did not do that after it was explicitly said last year that Easter Sunday was a problem. And then I checked the calendar. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I honestly I have no idea who did it. Like, obviously, most of us will probably assume like it wasn't Markz. Like, he probably didn't have a choice, or I'd like to believe that. But
I would like to believe it as well. But no, remember, whenever they announced him as commissioner, they did push things off a little bit so that
yeah,
they could hold off. And this feels like one of those things where if you pushed hard enough, you might have been able to change it.
yeah,
Especially considering that it's in LA and in the Riot Game studio.
it just makes me question their scheduling in general. Like, whoever is in charge of it, which at this point they probably have been fired, so there's no point in saying like fire them, or they've been laid off or whatever. Like,
If
they're just doing terrible.
If you believe Monte
Like,
Cristo, he said that all the people in decision-making positions like that did not get let go.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is that's difficult
I
because it's bad. It's really bad.
I will say this. And I'm trying to think of the appropriate way
Yikes.
to word this, and I didn't want to be in this position. I explicitly said it whenever I received a message on it. I got a DM from somebody in the LoL esports scene on Friday of last week, basically just like responding to a tweet that I put. Uh, and I basically said, let's talk at a later time. I'm 2 shots in and not trying to have a serious conversation about the LCS related topic when I'm 2 shots in. Uh, so like, let's pause on this. And I made it clear, like, I want to have like a public conversation about the topic at hand. Will it happen? I don't know, but I at least know that like all of the criticisms that I've levied out there, and I made it clear, like, I don't levy criticism without giving a solution. I feel like that's the
Mhm.
one thing that I do genuinely well. Like, I care about it enough, but I know for a fact that that shit was seen by people. That's
Okay.
that's all I feel comfortable saying for now until I get confirmation I can talk about it elsewhere.
Yeah, my biggest gripe is just that you already did a 2 week break and didn't choose one of the weeks to be during that Super Bowl. Like that makes
Yep.
no sense to me. Like you did them back to back also, which I think if you just do a 1 week and then a 1 week, maybe you can buy it a bit better. Like do that 1 week between regular season and playoffs or something.
Yep.
I just don't understand doing 2 weeks in the middle of the season. Like
No. And
I don't trust their numbers. Like I doubt they have data that is worth saying it's true
what
because their
number
data.
what number
Yeah,
are they going to say that it's better on Easter for? Like, you
yeah,
explicitly have information that showed that it was a problem and said so publicly. You tipped
yeah,
your hand for once and were honest, and now it's coming back to bite you in the ass because you were honest about it. It's like,
yeah. Well,
oh my god.
really, two things they've tipped their hand on too, because Mark's in that Travis Gafford interview when he talked about best of threes, like does openly admit, and Travis like had that clip in his video too, which I thought was funny. Like he has this clip that just contradicts everything when they said best of threes killed viewership. Yeah, it's because they moved away from the Riot channel and went to these LCS channels.
And split it
And when they
between 2
went,
streams.
yeah, and doubled it up. So, and then they were like, "Oh man, the viewership is dying." It's like, no, maybe like you guys just executed this about as poorly as I could have imagined doing it. Like, I honestly, I don't even know why they ever moved away from the Riot channel. I
Yeah.
can kind of understand trying to build your own like channels, right, for your own leagues, but you've already committed to it in a sense.
I mean, I
Like if you
agree.
already committed to it and you built a huge fan base there, all you're doing is shooting it.
That was my biggest problem with the Travis video, which finally came out this week. And again, I will put this out there. Travis, you want to come on and debate me? Come on and debate me. Like, you're more than welcome to say your shit so that I'm not just rambling here into the void. But like, every single point that he brought up when like talking about historical references to this exact argument are fucking invalid if you just have one stream and format it in the same way the LEC is doing it. You could even condense it down to pretty much the same thing we do now. I already laid it out on Twitter that if you swap and basically do a single round robin best of ones into seeding for a double elimination bracket, it is the same amount. Actually, it is one less day than what we are currently doing and the format we currently have. And you don't
Yeah.
need to split up streams. You don't need to do any of the negative shit that he brings up as like a reason as to why we shouldn't do it and why it's bad for viewers. All the stuff you're saying is irrelevant. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of doing it right. And like, that's the biggest problem is like, I feel like there's so many freaking issues that it's like, it's so obvious why there's not somebody. I'm assuming this is the case. I'm assuming there's a reason that we don't know about. But again, you got to publicly fucking say something so that we can know about it. But somebody's got to have a big 12-month-long calendar on their wall. And just they have to like have, okay, Easter's here, Christmas is here, this holiday's here within both the North American audience, and you have to consider Europe as well. And I would even throw in Korea and China. Like, you have to have everything in there.
Mhm.
There's no goddamn way that somebody shouldn't have that calendar going and be able to recognize, okay, we're going to take 2 weeks break, one of which should have been on fucking Super Bowl Sunday, and the other realistically could have been on Easter, or like you find a way around it. Or like you can play on Easter, that's fine, but not finals. Make it like a losers, like, I don't know, a 7 or a 6 versus 4 losers bracket elimination game. That's fine. Like it's Easter, there's still going to be some issues there, but like I'd rather that than finals.
Yeah, it honestly makes like no sense to me what they're thinking there. And then the best of threes thing is just like I think it would be good. I really don't think it'll be a huge issue. Like Travis's video obviously had it. But the big thing and the concern will always be like their execution is just not great. And it's just how it is. Their execution consistently like messes up, but it's also one of those things of like I can't actually sit here and be like, oh man, their execution's bad, so we shouldn't do anything. Because you do have to do something. And what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna address Khan's point, chat, but I was cutting you off doing so sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. Only other part I had was I know like a lot of people don't like the thought of their team playing once a week, but if you want to make something popular in America, once a week is a perfectly fine system. It's actually what our biggest like 2 sports are built off of. Great, well, it's the same sport, but college football and NFL football are built on once a week and making it a spectacle, and Americans love that.
Oh, we do. And you could hype it up so much for that little bit of time. And there's so much that you can milk out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, I feel like there's this philosophy that Travis shares and a lot of other people at Riot share, and it's just like this brainwashed like point of view where it's like, we have to care about people that care about the league. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No. You cater to people that are able, you cater to people that are fans of teams. And you let the fans of teams carry those individual things. And you put the onus on the teams to actually do shit. And if it's not working, then that's on the teams. And you can't, like, Riot's not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, nothing we could do. Like, it is what it is. As for Storm's comments on, like, injury prone, yeah, I mean, that, by all means, that is, like, an issue. Like, but if you're talking about, like, the budgetary restrictions alongside of it, like, you just accept it for what it is. And in a perfect world, you know, teams play probably twice a week, similar to, like, Call of Duty style. Like, that would be ideal. But obviously they're not going to let that happen because of budget, and we just kind of we accept that for what it is.
In America, it's like, yes, like football is only doing it because of injury concerns, and if they could do more games, they probably would.
Yeah.
Type of deal. But none of our sports that have like a super amount of games actually do really great here. Like, I think the biggest middle ground is college basketball.
Yeah.
And because it's at that 30 mark, and that 30 game mark, like, helps a lot. NBA is doing fine, but NBA is, like, so much smaller than they should.
The thing is, like,
for the amount of, like...
The dip between, like, the first few games to, like, dipping in the regular season to then, like, peaking back in playoffs is extreme. It's massive. Terrible. Whereas, like, the NFL, like, that dip is tiny.
Yeah.
Like, middle of the season, there are some games that like, the Chiefs-Bills game, I think, was, like, the most watched game of the season. And that was, like, midway through. Like, viewership for the NFL is, like, incredibly consistent. It really just depends on the matchups at all times. Like, that's all it is. Whereas, like, the NBA, it's, like, with the NBA and MLB and NHL, regular season just, like, dips pretty heavily, barring, like, your Christmas games, your Thanksgiving Day games, and like the one-off like really good matchups. College basketball just does. I mean, you have such a short season. You have what, November to March, and that's it.
Yeah,
and like you cram as much as you can in that period, and it's also a byproduct. Yeah, and it's all the thing with college that makes it different compared to professional sports is that with college You have 10,000 students on campus that literally live with
Yeah.
like a 10-minute walk in a dorm
Yeah.
away from the gym that can go at any time. So they can
Yeah.
get away with anything because people just show up. It's part of the college experience, which is different than pro. Because pro, then you have people, people have to come from away. The stadiums are
Yeah.
elsewhere. It's like at the end of the day, you could fill up a college stadium for any basketball team within a major conference if you sold tickets for $5. And
Well, and college basketball does a much better job than the NBA of like setting up a rivalry game and marketing it well. Like
oh yeah,
it's not really them. It's ESPN. Like ESPN's doing a good job, which I still have my gripes with ESPN. They're killing the ACC, and
no
I
comment.
don't know why. But
I am not affiliated with
they,
those comments.
yeah, they do a great job of like convincing you that this game in February between two teams that hate each other really is important. And it works. Like it works really well. The Duke Carolina games every year
Oh,
hit 1 million viewers in February. And honestly, February should not matter for a college basketball game. Nobody should care about that. But they get it every year to pop off.
I would say January is less important. February, you have the tournaments now. Like end of February is
Well,
when.
like beginning of February. The
Oh
Carolina Duke game
yeah.
hit
You're right. You're right.
like 1.5 million on a Saturday in February, like February 3rd or something. Like that's a crazy
they have more
number.
than that. I'm pretty sure.
It probably was. I don't know what the actual.
I don't know the
perfect
Nielsen.
number
I haven't
was.
seen the Nielsen.
It might have been
numbers behind
3
it.
million, but they have those. I mean, every year one of those stupid invitational tournaments that ESPN will hold in like some really nice place to chill has like a dumb amount of viewers because two top teams play. Like that's what you do.
Or
And
on an aircraft carrier.
yeah, when that Carolina Michigan State game was sick.
It was. This is so cool.
But
Oh my god.
I don't know why LCS doesn't try to lean into that more. Like,
I don't
I'm
know.
not saying it's easy to build those narratives. It does take a lot of time, and you got to do a lot of things. And playing once a week, especially when you're talking about a game like League where that shouldn't be happening,
No.
is silly. Like, if we're all being honest. But it's the position we're in. Like, the position we're in does not lead to that we can play Thursday through Sunday, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
And to address a comment I saw earlier, which was, we're in the studio or we're accommodating for Valorant the entire time. It's like, yeah, we're already playing in a side studio now. So what was stopping us from doing that and shifting the week so it'd be better? Like, there's nothing stopping us at all. Like, it's just, it is mind-blowing decision after mind-blowing decision, which just like, as a fan of the league, you can't help but look at all this and say, yeah, we are second fiddle. And it just annoys me because it's like, I get, this is why I want the lawsuit from Hex and Scump to go through so bad, because I'm starting to get of the view that it is not good for a developer to have control over two esports.
Yeah.
Because there's ultimately, at the end of the day, Riot's going to side for whatever esport is like better for them. Like that will take priority. And they will make more sacrifices and have to try and force each other to, accommodate to each other's schedules and all this. Because I saw like Arsh tweeting out earlier, and I think it might have been Khan that responded to it. Is like, VCT does give up a lot of stuff and does like plan stuff around the League of Legends international events. And it's like, yeah, that's also a fair point to be brought up. It's like competition's competition. Like whether you see the game, I know Riot wants to avoid the two competing, but like at the end of the day, it should be like League should be looking at Valorant like I'm going to kick your fucking ass, and Valorant should be looking at League like I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And just the two should be competing against each other, not in this we're going to get along, we're going to do this. And like, that's only because Riot kept it internal. If it was third party, I guarantee you people would be like, nah, we're going to make this event bigger and better. And we're going to try and get those people. And there would be this competition element to it. That's like, you'd stop dancing around each other the entire time. And then like in the effort to make everybody happy, you make nobody happy.
Yeah. No, it's completely true. And to fix the point I made, the Carolina Duke game didn't hit a million. That was my bad. It hit 3.2 million. So February 3rd, they're hitting those numbers a month out of March Madness. Like, we can probably cook something up. And we have LEC, hitting like 800K for
Yeah.
finals. So
Oh
they're
my god, yeah.
cooking. There's a place to be made. And what you were saying, and getting back to your point, is like, we need that competition level, but we also need them to quit doing the bigger and better means we need to make the spectacle bigger and better. You
Yes.
need to get the fans involved and you need to have the crowd so good. That should be where your competition lies. Oh, our crowd is always yelling, our crowd's always into it, like this type of stuff. That's what sucks people in. Like, people watch these koi and what is it? K-Core
K
games,
Corp
and they're
and
like, man, why doesn't our team have this? And that's what you're thinking the whole time. You're like, why doesn't my team care this much? Maybe you think they're annoying and you don't think that. And you really just hope that your whole fan base for your team sits like this the whole game
Dom.
until it ends, which is like, okay. But cheering for the game is like a huge part of sports. You're not watching League of Legends like that, so you can sit there and go, huh, yeah, that was pretty cool what Faker just did there. All right. We'll see what he can do later on in the game. If you're doing that, you're just a psychopath. Like, I can't understand the way you watch sports. I sit there because I want to freak out and I want to be excited from the plays. That's kind of the whole point of sports. That's why most people watch it. Like,
I enjoyed ratioing the piss out of somebody that was like, "Oh, why are you saying us?" Bro talks like he's part of the team. It's like, yeah, you think
yeah,
every K Corp fan on Twitter that's spamming like the hashtags and everything else on game day, you think that they don't think they're part of the team? That's what drives fandom. That's the
yeah,
whole point.
yeah. No, it's a us versus them
God.
mentality. That's
Yes.
the point. Like,
Oh my God. It's
it's
like
so silly.
I don't get it. I really and I hope I would love to get the chance to sit down with Mark and just like having okay, here's the first thing I would do. If I had the chance to sit down with Mark, first question I would talk about is viewership because we have to. It's the one everybody focuses on. Talking about the 4% increase, I'm going to ask 4 simple questions that I think would establish a good baseline for where we're at. And if you can't answer those questions, then we might as well stop the entire fucking interview because you're not going to be able to like have the level of conversation that we need to have to like actually address these problems. First and foremost, is LCS viewership up from prior year spring? Yes or no? The answer would be yes. Second answer, does co-streaming make up a higher percentage of total viewership of in 2024 LCS than it did in 2023 LCS? So if co-streaming was say 10% of viewership total last year, is it 20% this year? The answer would be yes. Third question, is the audience that is watching LCS, is it a lower percentage of North American viewers this year than it was last year? Yes or no? The answer is going to be no. The North American audience is a lower, or yes, the North American audience is a lower percentage than it was in prior years. Okay. Once we've established those, now let's have a conversation. How do we reverse this trend? How do we do things on viewership, on the viewership front there? On the format side, we go into all, like, I give the example that I have and say, why can't we do this?
Yeah.
And if I don't get an answer, be like, why? Like, give me the underlying reason why. Like, if it's red tape and you really can't tell me, then again, like, why are we having this conversation?
Yeah.
Like, because
What's
the
going
biggest
on?
thing that I want to say, like, that I feel like needs to be said in one of these interviews, that Travis hasn't said it because I understand he's playing the political game, but I think we're at the point where we're beyond where you can play the politics at this point. And you got to ask the question in the interview and basically say, like, get a straight answer of why are we constantly making decisions that feel anti-fan, and like provide the examples and just push back hard. Don't leave a topic until we get the answer that we know we all need, which is either a commitment to never letting this happen again, like a thoroughbred in-word on video promise that like scheduling on Easter is never going to fucking happen again. or the admittance of, yeah, we just don't care. That way fans have an honest view of where the fuck we stand within this company, within this whole ecosystem and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I just want like all of those answers. I don't want any more PR. I don't want any more of that bullshit. Like, you want to talk about viewership numbers? Let's get to the root of it. Let's get to what is actually driving it and the factors beneath it, and what change are we going to do to get there?
Yeah, because it being on Easter, like, I know a lot of people probably don't care about Easter in the esports scene, at least. Like, and from your comments, some people are saying that, like, who cares? It's on Easter. But it is one of those things of, like, it's not like as egregious as planning it on the Super Bowl. Like, when we were putting games on the Super Bowl, that was pretty crazy. Even if we ended before, like, everybody has a Super Bowl on their head that day.
Yep.
But it's also like Easter is one of those things where, like, if people have to pick between your esports or going to lunch with their family or dinner,
You're going to
like,
go with the family every time.
yeah, you're gonna go with the family because most people are sitting there going like, yeah, I'm gonna probably pick my family here, and then they're gonna spend their whole day with their family, and then maybe get back to their house and watch starting at game 2, starting at game 3, and I don't see how they look at that and go, man, that we're really building a fan base that cares really hard.
Yeah. Here, okay,
Like,
Storm brings up a great point. I wonder what percentage of LCS fans care about the Super Bowl, though. Little to none. Markz specifically said there was like a 2% drop off for the Super Bowl,
yeah,
and that was it.
it's-
Which is a problem, to be clear. Because I don't, like, the thing that people get too fixated on is like, oh, what does the current LCS fan base think? Like, what do, like, the small minority population of LCS fans currently think? It's like,
yeah,
I thought the whole goal was to sell out Madison Square Garden. Because last time I checked, the current fan base can't do that. You need to develop it into something more, which takes culture and identity from there. We need more. I care more about expanding the league and the new fans that we can get in than the existing ones. You can do enough to make sure that the existing fans are catered to, while still 100% going after the audience that you've either lost or need to capture to bring in additional people.
yeah.
And that is not a weekday crowd before anybody ever comes at me saying, oh, we tried that with the weekdays. Like, no, that's a passive audience. Don't fucking do that to me.
And it should be worrying them because, like, there should be a big problem if every other sport doesn't put games on that Sunday because they get major drop off, and we're the only one that doesn't get major drop off. Like, you should be sitting there going, why is our whole fan base not, like, sport adjacent in any other way?
Yep.
Like, why do they not feed into anything else? Like, there's a difference between having your die-hard core audience that, like, certain sports have and being like, why are we so difficult for the person who watches multiple sports to watch? / why do most of our people only watch this kinda? Because obviously people are not watching this too diehardy. We barely have as many viewers as they can fill a stadium at Michigan. So we're not, like, absolutely killing it. So you're sitting here just thinking, like, okay, it's not like we got 1 million people sitting here watching these LCS games. So what's going on? And why are these people who watch everything else in the world not watching this?
I remember when whenever I posted about the Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves matchup back on Super Bowl weekend, somebody's like, is that really a rivalry? I was like, like, to me it is. What the fuck does it matter whether you think it is or not? Like, to me it is. Like, and there were people that were, like, genuinely asking, and, like, I explained, because that's fine. There were some that were like, oh, it's not really a rivalry in the same sense that C9 and CLG was. Where the fuck's CLG? Where's their rivalry at right now? Like, why do I care about shit that happened 7 years ago? I'm trying to make a rivalry now. And if I got to be the one to stir the fucking pot to do it, then I'm going to be the one that stirs the pot to fucking do it. But Jesus, like, somebody do something.
He said C9 CLG, like, actually?
Yeah.
Or are you just paraphrasing him?
No, I'm pretty sure it was C9 CLG.
It's totally,
like,
TSM CLG.
It might have been TSM CLG. I don't know.
Oh, no, I was saying if that guy said that, bro, I'd be like, come on, dude.
It's like, either way, they're both gone. They're
Yeah, they
not
are.
there. They don't exist.
Yeah.
So don't come at me for rivalries that I see, because I guarantee that person doesn't even have a fucking team right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, as a new NRG fan, I don't hate anyone right now, and it feels really weird. Like, I'm not saying I need to hate them, like to the point where
No,
I'm
I
like,
think you do.
die.
You need a
It's just like,
rival.
yeah, I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, I don't know who I'm supposed to dislike. I guess all of you are just fine.
Like
It's like,
that's
okay.
that's my biggest problem with this. Like, dude, somebody, like, I'm glad that we have Sniper who at least talks a little bit of shit. Although I am a little bit worried because
Mhm.
in the 48-minute video, like, podcast that they released today, he went on to say, like, oh, I'm gonna let my play do the talking. It's like, no, no, don't do that. Keep running your
Yeah.
mouth, please. Like, come on. That's part of what made it fun. Like, me watching you versus Impact was great because you said you're literally gonna piss them down. Like, keep saying that shit. Keep shit talking. Like, I get scrims might be humbling and all this, but you know what? You gotta keep it, like, that made it fun. That gives us storylines. You gotta keep going with it. Ah,
Yeah.
because I can't stand fucking going into a week. It's like, oh, we played Dig and Immortals. I hope we don't lose these trap games. Great. Whereas, like, whenever I go into the matchup with TL, it's like, I don't want to lose to this team. I care
Mhm.
about not losing more than I care about winning.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, at that point, it's like there's just none of that in LCS right now. I feel like there isn't a single rivalry I actually like know. Like I know by heart, and it's not like I guess team's fault. Well, I guess it would be team's fault, but it's just like I'm pretty in tune with LCS, and I feel like none of them right now, none of the teams are really like staring at each other. Like that's the team we need to own. Like
Yeah.
there are people who talk trash. Don't get me wrong. Like FBI does a good job of talking trash. Like Sniper's been doing it. Uh, Whippo, like maybe not indirectly talking trash, but he's very honest, so it helps. But there's just like
But you got no, the problem
I
is
don't know.
you have Blippo talking shit, and you have
Yeah,
nobody pushing back against them. It's like,
yeah,
somebody say something,
the
please.
K-pop system,
Don't, dude,
the
don't get.
K-pop system that everybody wants isn't working. I guess.
I got DMs about that.
What'd you do?
People were not happy about, like, me saying that, like, K-pop isn't the way, and there were like,
Oh,
I got
well, I mean
messages
it's true.
explaining, like, how, like, K-pop does all this, and I just came back was like, if all members left the band, would you still support the band? No, you support the members. That's like, you can't.
Yeah,
And like K-pop culture is all about, like, positivity, building up people, building up your superstars, building up this, like, people do not like the toxic element of that.
yeah.
Like, hate on some of the toxic Swifties all you want, but I find it fucking hilarious when some of them are off their rockers. And it's like, dude, come on. Give me more of
And
that shit. Like, give me
and
Koi versus K Corp every day. Like, that nationality, like, they legitimately will beat somebody up in the parking lot.
I also don't get it really because it's like I don't understand people's idea that K-pop and sports like feed into each other. There isn't this thing in K-pop where they're all like playing and there's an actual like one-to-one difference. Like if two bands that are fighting to sell more albums are battling for it and one of them wins, they both won technically. They both sold a bunch of albums and made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Neither of them cares. Like the whole point of sports is that there are like seven whatever's in your league, other losers. Like there are seven people who had to lose, and there is nothing else that can happen. Like only one champion gets crowned.
Yep.
So that's the whole point of it. Like that just doesn't just happen in K-pop. That's not a real thing.
Which, I don't want to covet their fandom and say that, like, their version of fandom, like, isn't welcome. It clearly is. Obviously, if that's what gets you into the LCS, go right ahead.
Mhm.
That's not going to fill out stadiums. It's
Yeah.
not. Like, I promise you, it's not. Like, it's not going to work. And I don't care how much that gets me in trouble. That's fine. I get it. You need the sports fans.
Yeah,
You have to get the sports fans. You need that type of rivalry. You need that type of bad blood in this. You need
you need
everything that
owners
comes.
betting.
Yeah, you need all of that.
Yeah, like pride bets. When Reggie and Steve would go on broadcast and bet like 100K to charity, that is how you get people to go, oh, these dudes like mean what they're saying. Like, yes, were they blowing through money? Yeah, but was it working and they were getting way more viewers than we get now? Also, yeah, like that 100K to them back then, I get it was like a waste of VC money or whatever, but it was interesting to people. It showed that they cared about the league and they were doing something. I know like people are like, they were just so bad with money. That's why we're here. It's like,
Riot actually blocked
yes,
that, by the way. They never let it go through.
yeah, yeah, I know. I know they couldn't actually like do stuff, but I'm meaning like I guess also the hair one, like when Hotshot GG did his hair.
Yeah.
Remember, like that type of stuff. I get like some of it doesn't go through, but it's like it does actually get people to kind of watch
Yeah.
and care, and they see owners like talking trash to each other. That does get people interested because if you see the whole team from the top down saying we think we're so good that we can't lose to them, and I'll put my hair on it, like that gets people to tune in. I don't know why.
I
It's
just
marketing.
I want people to just like openly shit on each other. Like how like
Yeah, and you don't have to
people
be super toxic.
no, but like it amazes me that Jack's not out here saying more. They've had
Yeah,
like a good program for years, and it's just like, oh, our systems, and like we meme on it. Like, I don't know. I just want to. I don't know how you do it organically without forcing it. Like you just
Storm.
you need somebody that like genuinely doesn't like each other.
Storm
Like,
is right too. Like ERO players betting hair on splits. Like I didn't know that, but that's correct. Also, like what Ibai said about Yamato. Like
oh, that
that's
was
not.
fucking great.
I get people in NA would probably be like, "Oh, that's too toxic," but in reality, that's something that isn't that bad.
People were
That
saying
does
that.
get
Dom
people
freaked the
super
fuck
into it.
out.
I know he did because he's soft, and he used to.
And
He
Yamato's his
used to
boy.
be so much more intense. I feel like, but like it's not like Ibai said something that's like I don't know. He didn't say anything out of pocket. He kept it job related, and he said, "You're fraudulent at your job." That was it. Like, as long as you're not getting personal, which yes, people can try to say like, "Oh, he hurt his money making system." Bro, we all know you can co-stream and make good money. Like, you will probably be able to pick yourself up.
I just love it that Abai got the last laugh on that. Yamato's without a
I
job.
totally did. Yeah, they were literally like the what is that game called that does his watch parties and stuff? Like when Gilius typed in there, he put like I told you all after they lost in the finals.
Yep.
Like he put, I told you all that Mad Koi was fraudulent F tier org, and it by posted DMs of Gilius asking to be on their like under team,
Yep.
their ERL team, and I was like, tough.
That's fucking. Oh,
That's
I
tough.
love that. Like
I
that.
was like,
That's what I would love. Like what I would love more than anything is I just want a rivalry where like it's clear that like when two teams like meet on the rift, like there's fucking bad blood. But you can go to the boardroom and respect each other as competitors. Like I think that's because like put it this way, Duke and UNC hate each other. Okay. But
yep,
you go into an ACC conference meeting where they're both trying to
yeah,
negotiate their media rights. They're both going to be on the same page and be like,
yeah,
you know what? I respect your program.
business.
You respect ours. This is business. Business is business.
Yeah,
You don't like what happens on the Rift does not impact us in terms of like our decision
yeah,
to make the league better. But
yeah.
on the court, kindly go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah, we both understand that Obama goes to our rivalry games. That's how big of a deal it is.
yep,
And that happens because we are very good at what we do on the court. Like if Duke or UNC is losing a lot, I most Duke friends I have, like almost all of them, will say like you guys need to get it together because this has to be a top 10 match every time. there is no world where we play each other and this isn't both of us in the top 10. You need to get it together. Like, we want to see each other lose, and I'm happy when Duke loses like that Wake Forest game. But I'm also sitting here now, like, all right, I want you to still lose these couple games. If you do, I will chuckle. But also, if you don't, I'm not going to be too mad. Because I'd love to spank you while you're in the top 10 still. Like, it makes you feel good.
Yep.
And that's what builds the rivalry. Like, when Coach K lost on that last shot, honestly, most of me and the Duke fans there were all chilling with each other. Like, I was like, man, that sucks for you guys. Like, I'm sorry, that's tough. Like, good luck. And they're like, yeah, it sucks that you guys did it, but you better go win if you're going to be doing all this. And that's what they were saying. Because it's like, they were still like, I hope you don't. And I'm going to cheer for your downfall. But, like, you're very camaraderie. Like we all understand.
Yeah.
This rivalry is only so good because we're so good.
Yep.
Like, that's what keeps it there. And, like, I think LCS teams, well, I'm not gonna say owners, because I do think owners genuinely want the stuff to go up, like the viewers to go up, and if they could, they would probably do more to cause the rivalries to get bigger. And there is no like media rights deal they can affect, but I do think there's some effort they need to put in on the business side of like building a rivalry that is like both, what is that, respectful and competitive enough.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have that. Like, if Dig and Immortals hated each other to their core, it wouldn't matter because nobody cares. Like, it is what it is.
Yep.
So you have to have two of the teams that are at the top really hate each other and then simultaneously, like, play well.
Yep.
And we just don't have that. I mean, Koi and K-Core are like the closest thing to it, but K-Core stinks. So it hurts that rivalry a little bit. It makes Koi have to kind of shift, and Koi's done a good job at being like, screw everybody instead. Like,
I think I'm trying to think because it's one of those where like I want to help stir that pot if at all possible because I've already got bad blood going with C9 fans. They already hate me, which I really like. And I feel like I could do more, but like there's a certain line that I don't cross because I have to interview players.
True.
And I don't want to cross that so long as I'm doing that. I'm thinking next year, maybe summer, but definitely next year, of cutting out player interviews entirely from my content and interviewing personalities around the scene and like getting like having conversations with other people, but like taking the player part out of it unless players specifically want to come on personally. Not because like I'm doing post-match stuff. Like if you want to come on a video and talk, by all means come on and talk. And just know that I'm going to be biased, I'm going to shit talk, and I'll own up to the things I said, but like I'm not going to hold back. But like there is a certain portion of that like I don't know. I feel like I can affect that more than, at least from the 100 Thieves side, I can affect it more than most. And I'm just not fully doing it yet just because of respect for everybody else. I'm just trying to think through, like, what more could we do? Because if the players aren't going to do it, if the league's not going to do it, like, somebody has to, right? So why sit here and, you know, talk about things that we want to happen when we could potentially make it happen ourselves?
No, that is true. That's a good point. And it is one of those, like, thinking about it. I mean, it's going to be difficult, but I get what you mean. Like, cutting out the, player interviews would make it easier for you to talk more trash. And, like, a lot of people are saying it is a good point. Like, K-Core has still managed to keep this insane fan base, even with losing, because they built true fans.
Yep.
And they built some real rivalries and things like that. And when you have a reason to get people excited and to still watch, like, it does help a lot. If you could get a real rivalry going for 100 Thieves with TL, which I think you guys do, it's just that people, like, choose to not care about it, which I kind of get, kind of don't. Like, it would help a lot with building that brand of LCS. Like, 100 Thieves and TL twice a year, which if you go to best of threes, it's only one a season, but who really cares? It's still one best of three that goes hard, and everybody who pays to be in the studio should, since there's so many fans in LA, go absolutely crazy for that that rivalry game. Should then then it would be a big deal. Like imagine only playing your rival twice a year, unless you play them in playoffs. Like that should make it more intense.
Should.
Does it?
No.
Who knows? They don't like going to anywhere where rivalries are actually a thing. Like, I don't really know of any LA crowds that are that psychopathic. I guess the Kings and the Lakers hate each other,
The
or
Bloods and the Crips.
but yeah, yeah, that's true. But as far as like, I mean, if college football doesn't even have electric rivalry games in LA, do we really think that LCS is going to? Like,
No.
they can't even get the psychos, the drinkers, and the alcoholic. Well, it's different in LA. They're
Yeah.
not alcoholics because they're not born in the gritty Midwest.
Nope.
but
They ain't gotta drink through the winter. They don't know.
Yeah, they're sipping wine at college
There's a reason
football
why
games.
there's a reason why Russian tolerance is the way it is. Winter
Yep.
winter breeds you different.
It does. You need like this is just. I hate to say it, but every time we talk about it, we eventually dig ourselves so far deep down the rabbit hole that I start to think again, you just have to move. Like, there's nothing you can do, dude.
I've been shocked by the amount of people that are like starting to throw that idea out there.
Yeah, that moving
Like
is worth it.
more and more people are like starting to talk about it. It's like, okay, maybe it's starting to pick up steam.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually there'll be there. I mean, look, bro, how do we have Captain Flowers heading the ship? My dude is like posting Worlds videos like him drinking Colt 45s. Fucking like he is the epitome of what you want it to be. He never gets to fully embrace that. Ever. I want, you know what I want more than anything, and I know it wouldn't happen because like Riot official wouldn't let it. I want a drunk Captain Flower stream because he's chugging beers with fans.
It would be pretty
That'd
electric.
be, but no, it couldn't be on like the Riot broadcast. But I'm just saying it'd be great. Oh,
Bring alcoholics to the LCS. That's what Storm put. Get it trend. All right, that's not what I mean.
No.
I'll stop. But Josh does say like U of M, OSU, Bama, Georgia, bro. I mean IU, Purdue, like the whole East Coast is full of like some insane rivalries. I ain't saying that like the West Coast doesn't have them. Like Oregon and Washington is pretty great.
USC, UCLA used to be a good one, but
Yeah, it
it's
used to be
died
great.
out.
But right now, sports just seems to be dominated by the Eastern Seaboard of
Yep.
America, at least. And it's just an unfortunate reality. Like, there is an issue when, like, a lot of Midwestern to Eastern teams are packing out SoFi Stadium, and the Chargers and the Rams can't. And the Rams have a fairly recent Super Bowl.
Yep.
Like, and this isn't even like crazy big place. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's small, but you're telling me Pittsburgh fans are beating out
Dude, they
people from thousands of miles away? Like,
bro, I'm telling you, we go on
Packers
vacation.
fans.
We go on vacation anywhere. We can always find a Steeler
Yeah.
bar to watch the games in. We were down in Myrtle
Yeah.
Beach during a preseason game. It took us 30 minutes to get into the one restaurant that was a Steeler fan bar. They had 160 or no, 250 people seating in the main dining area. Took 30 minutes, and people were standing room only the second the game began for a preseason game.
Yeah. that
We're
is
not
crazy.
even we're in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Like
Mhm.
we're not even close to Pittsburgh, and that shit was on that. It was amazing. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, it was electric. And it's like that comes from decades of building it up. Philly
Yeah.
got that state on lock. Kindly go fuck yourself. No, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I'd say no. No
Philly
chance.
Philly fans will show up in Philly, but they're the most fair weather fans you'll ever see in your life. Steelers fans roll deep and are way more diehard than Philly fans will ever know in their lives.
All right, I've started a new thing. But see, what you just did there is because of the work football's done.
Yeah.
Like, you saying that and getting that intense about it, like you said all that trash talk, that's just because it's built into you. Like,
Dude, we went to first ever away game that I went to for the Steelers was a rain game in Baltimore. Pittsburgh Baltimore is not a rivalry to scoff at. We're walking down the street to the stadium wearing Steelers stuff, and luckily we had my sister who was I think like 10 or 11 at the time, so people were a little bit more tamed with it. But dude, we were getting chirped from the other side of the street.
yeah,
Every single block. It was incredible. It was great. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Exactly, as we should. We're walking in Baltimore wearing Steelers shit.
yep.
Yeah, we should be chirped. We won, by the way. But
I mean, as one does. And it's not like people, the thing I've noticed though is like people are always like, oh, but when people do that, like, but don't be hitting people, don't be like assaulting them. It's like, yeah, dude, we're not saying
no.
to go assault people. We're saying to have fun with the sport a little bit.
Yep.
And maybe give them like a pit of the stomach feeling when they're losing because they're like, I'm gonna catch a lot of crap for this. Like, make people feel like that. It's not that bad. Like 10 minutes of trash talk after the game and then back to life as usual. It doesn't have to be crazy stuff. Like, it's not like end of the world things. It's just give the sport some meaning. Like,
or like yesterday,
give it some depth.
like I'm streaming the match, and Tyler sees that I'm wearing the Tim Tebow jersey, and is like, "Oh my god, are you kidding me?" Because he's a fucking Bulldog fan with you, and I'm like, "Wow, okay, one, wow, two, I've never had that reaction when I'm wearing a 100 Thieves jersey. Nobody's ever been like, oh, 100 Thieves. They're like, oh, you're a 100 Thieves fan. It's like, I want somebody to tell me to go fuck myself. That'd be great. Are you kidding me? I could bounce off of that. Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Well, the one team that got that reaction left.
True.
I was gonna say I've gotten that.
Yeah, no, you have. Yeah,
I get that about. I even get that now when I wear this hoodie. I just like this hoodie because it's comfy and it was 30 degrees today, and I'm getting railed. But it's like, I don't know how you get there though, because like, I just don't know what you do. You do need a team that wins a lot and talks a lot of trash while they do it. It's what gets people going. Like G2 does a good job of it. I feel like obviously G2 doesn't have the like psycho fan base that Mad Koi has.
No.
Where their like co-streamers are doing all that jazz. But G2's fan base is very large and in charge, and when they win games, they talk trash. And I have no issue with that. They do have a weird hard on for being scrim champions, but that's, I guess, whatever. It makes them feel good. And I think it helps. Like, it just helps with the whole idea of, like, you talk a little trash. It can be nice. It can be just enough to get the people going. It's provocative. And all of a sudden, everyone's like, okay, this is pretty intense now. Like, I care about who wins this. And it's good for the leagues. I don't see how it's a problem, but I just don't know. I don't know what you do in LCS. I don't know how you really build it. I think it's in a... Yeah, I think tough is the word. I think it's just in a tough spot.
I don't know.
I think League of Legends right now is just in one of those really rare areas of, like... Things are... I'm not going to say terrible,
They're
but
dire.
It's a very small crowd, right? There's not a ton of us LCSers. A lot of people, and because of the fact people didn't tune out for the Super Bowl, a lot of people, this is their second league. Good luck getting somebody who this is their second league they care about to care about the rivalry game. Like, if I am a CB LOL watcher or a LEC enjoyer, why do I care about the like 100 Thieves TL match? You know what I mean? Or rivalry. It's not my issue. Like, it's just not a problem. It's like me caring about Fnatic G2's rivalry or whatever back in the day. Like, I never cared about it. I hoped both of them lost. So when they played, I was completely fine with it because I knew one of them would have to lose. And I don't care about the rivalry. It's a second league to me. But it's like, I don't know what you do because you got to get basically people who this is their second league to care about these rivalries that aren't really the hugest deal to them. And the people who are around, generally, I will say, I think a good 30% of LCS like this is their main league watchers, don't like trash talk.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a true number. Like, it's probably right there.
Yep. Also, Rico, if you're still in the chat, I finally just got an update. I got a message, Alec from Brookland right now. OS is officially out for this weekend. They have an event on the Valorant side that they're going to be announcing. So we're going to be going over to Brookland. I'm going to message Alec about that once I'm off stream right now. 2:30 to...
Sag.
I'll figure it out afterwards. But yeah, so that's where we are. Real quick, do we want to preview the week to come?
Yeah, I guess we should. It is a big week, so yeah, we should probably quit being doomers for a second.
Yeah. And to be clear, even though we're both like, I think we have a clear plan of what we want.
Yeah, I mean, we just want people butts and seats.
Yep.
That was my comment on your YouTube video, and it is the comment I will live with until it happens. We need butts and seats, and they need to be butts and seats that actually care about the game.
Yep.
Like, I think it is totally healthy for there to reach a point where we don't have just people who are happy to see everybody happy watching the games.
Yep.
I want half the stadium diehard cheering for a good team fight, not the whole stadium going, "Oh, that's good. I'm glad to see somebody did well for the team fight one."
All right, so I got the schedule for this weekend. I'm going to go through it. You're going to give me your predictions on each game as we go. Okay? Putting you on the spot. First up,
Yeah,
Immortal Shopify.
doesn't matter. I'm gonna go. Sorry, Cloud. Give me Shopify.
I'm going Immortals.
That's what I'm taking. Okay, fair enough.
FlyQuest C9.
FlyQuest. Need them
Same.
to win. Need them to win.
TL NRG.
NRG.
Do you actually are you biased saying that, or do you actually think NRG is going to beat Team Liquid?
I have to say it because we need to win at some point. We haven't won in forever.
I think if you guys can't beat TL here, you're in trouble.
I mean, if we don't beat TL here, we might not be in.
Fair.
Because of the losses we've had.
Fair. Well, I mean, yeah, you still got some other people. Dig 100 Thieves.
I mean, I want to say 100 Thieves for you, but Dig kind of looks decent right now.
So but I'm gonna don't go for me. Go for whatever you actually think.
I think Dig actually wins here, and it puts C9 and NRG on a hot seat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think they win here, and it actually becomes a big deal, and nobody saw coming. Like,
then the day after, NRG Immortals.
Guess I'll go NRG.
Yeah, I think you guys bounce back there as well. I think you beat Immortals. FlyQuest 100 Thieves.
All right, I want to change the Dig game to you guys. Change the Fly game to, or do the Fly you guys game to Fly, right?
Okay.
And then the next game, I'm gonna go with Dig.
Dig over Shopify.
Yeah.
So both Dig and 100 Thieves go 1-1 on the week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the big match at the end, TL versus C9.
Gonna go C9. I think they eventually have to win again. But TL's playing good league right now. That's a tough one, dude. TL's playing really good league, and I'm kind of in a pickle here, dude. TL's playing well, and if TL wins, they do kind of lock C9. Like, if C9 loses the FlyQuest, TL has a lot of motivation to basically put C9 in, like, a precarious situation.
Yep.
But I still think C9 wins. I just think C9's good.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
agree.
go
I agree with Jake. These teams are going to be brand new when we see them, which is fucking terrifying
I
for
mean,
me.
yeah, it's really difficult to pick.
I need us to beat Dig so badly. If we don't, I'm terrified. Because that's like, so far, we haven't lost to any of the teams below us, in theory. Like, we lost to C9 and NRG, who were both above us in the standings at the time. And then we've
Yeah.
beaten everybody else. Oh, well, FlyQuest, obviously. So, like,
And
this is a trap game. This is such a trap game.
yeah. And it's doubly hard because they've all had a break and they're playing on like such updated patches.
Yep. You just got to pray to God that we're still so much better on stage. That's like, oh, I'm terrified. I'm not ready for it.
My team is just done, dude. I picked them and they decided to choke.
So, okay, let me ask you this then. Follow-up question on that. Since you think that basically your TLDR is that you think TL's in for a bad week, you think C9 and NRG are due for bounce back weeks, and then FlyQuest will be FlyQuest. That's ultimately like your take on the week.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your 1, 2, 3 for MVP right now?
MVP?
Yep.
I think you could argue for FlyQuest. You could argue Inspired or Bwipo, but people like Bwipo a lot and he's playing well. So I would say Bwipo is like your the front runner. Like, maybe not to you, but to the masses. People
I think
love
Inspired
Bwipo.
would be. I think
Oh,
Inspired's
okay.
like
So it
clear.
is okay to say Inspired?
Yeah, I
Because
think so. I think
I
Inspired.
personally find Inspired to be MVP, but I think people like Bwipo a lot and he's very popular. So I
I
think there's a real world where
I
he
think
gets it. And
Inspired's
he's
had.
playing well.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Inspired's have more of an impact.
Yeah. And then like what? Second would probably be River for me. Because he's like he's the leader of a young team.
Who's got the most players of the week in the LCS right now?
I have no idea.
Or who's got the most player of the game in their like of their teams that have won?
I don't know. Do
Quid.
you know? Quid? Do you think he'd get MVP?
Yeah, I think I think
Okay.
my top 3 right now would be Inspired, Quid, and is there anybody on TL that I would put? No. Is there anybody on C9 that I would put? No. NRG? No. I don't think there's anybody on NRG I'd put. Is there anybody that I put on Dignitas? Not really, no. I think like again, they're more of like a sum of the like everybody on that team is playing like at a decent level. Dove, I would say, is playing pretty well, but he's not better than Quid. So immediately like that drops him down. Immortals, no. Shopify, no. I personally think it's just Inspired and Quid right now, in my mind.
You don't think River's even close?
I think Quid's
I just like River there because he's such a leader.
I think Quid is the highest DPM mid laner in the league by a wide margin. I don't know. Like River in the games, River has helped facilitate a lot, sure, but there have been so many mechanical outplays by Quid in key moments, both in lane and in fights, that I just think like it's a difference maker. It's an impact maker. Yes, like the entire team is obviously performing well, and I don't want to take anything away from River, but like
Mhm.
I think it's Quid and Inspired for me.
I'm gonna say my top three is then Inspired 1, Bwipo 2, Quid 3. Well, not Quid, I'm more of a River leaner, but I'll go Quid if you are believing in Quid that much and you like their team a lot, so I'm gonna take your word for it and go him 3. And the reason I'm going Inspired Bwipo is because I think whichever one of them ends the year better
Yeah,
is probably MVP.
agreed.
Like the way that they're playing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's probably one of them.
Oh, I know. Actually, no, I know who my third one is. Uh,
Who?
FBI.
FBI is playing well.
I think
But
FBI is the best performing ADC in the league right now.
yeah, I just don't.
The problem is like his stats aren't going to look great because they keep losing as like the team collapses and makes dumb decisions. But I think like
Yeah.
despite their record, FBI like early on FBI was smashing. It's fallen off a little bit, but even then he's still getting advantages and playing it well. I think that would be my three. But I can't in good conscience like pick if there's two people from a team that I think are like neck and neck, then I don't know if like to me I don't know if that's MVP worthy.
What?
What?
Quid has like 4 and nobody else is even close.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, he's having a
Oh,
hell.
Booko's only got it once, Inspired's got it twice. So yeah, it's definitely Inspired. Him Impact's got it twice.
That yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But the thing is like
I mean, if
Impact's
TL closes out well, do you think Impact could get it?
no.
Uh-uh.
I think Sniper's playing better than Impact right now.
Okay.
Like and Sniper can't even get the nods because Quid's just playing too goddamn good in mid lane.
Mm-hmm. Storm sent me the list.
MVP is only regular season, Storm. So that's
Yeah,
where
it's
it's like
only.
I think I feel confident in those three. In Inspired 1, Quid 2,
I mean, if Immortals went
FBI
like
3.
crazy to end the year, or NRG, my bad, then I guess FBI could. But also, isn't like Pala has 2? Yeah, Pala has 2 player of the games. He
Pal
could
has 2,
probably.
but I don't know. Pal
His downs are
the
very down and his
that's
ups are very up.
the
I
thing. Quid
understand.
and Inspire both have not had a game yet where like you look at them and be like, ugh, they inted that like bad. Whereas there's been at least one, I think 2 games that you can look at Palafox and be like, oh,
Quid's had
that
some
wasn't
moments
good.
I've
He's had
I've
moments, but
been
he
like,
hasn't like chucked games.
but he does like, yeah, he does rein it in eventually.
Like that comes with the nature of being a bloody team. Is like you will make mistakes, but so far, for the most part, they've been rectifying them.
Hmm.
And like the bit when we lost versus FlyQuest, the big int that I was looking at was River engaging too early in the Dragon
Hmm.
Pit or like trying to get into Dragon, which led to a quadra kill on us. Yes, we ended up following him, but like that to me was more on River. NRG, you guys blasted us for the most part, but I think Quid, if I remember correctly, went pretty much even in that lane. Didn't really like do anything to lose. I think our bot lane got behind in. Oh, that was the Viego River game, and River got behind as we like played 3 losing lanes, and we never
Hmm.
got into it. Like lanes held their own, but like we just got choked out, and the draft wasn't great. And then C9, I don't know. I don't remember what happened with C9. But regardless, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
Any
feel comfortable with our MVPs, like our possible MVPs. My guess is it'll be one of those 3,
yeah.
unless Cloud9 makes like a Giga playoff push and Blabber goes crazy. Maybe JoJo, but
Yep.
I mean the problem with MVP is it's as much of a like player personality award as it is
Yeah.
like playing well. Like you got to kind of combine the two. Like, do people like said player, and is he playing well? If both equal out, then yeah, he's probably gonna be MVP. Like I could see Quid currently, if you guys still finish second and Quid has like 6 player of the games, I could still see him not getting it. Simply because people don't really know who Quid is.
Yeah.
And they don't care about him.
Well, Emily's home, which means we got to wrap this up, and I want to address a controversial take. No, it's fine. It's about time for us to wrap it up, anyways. I want to address one controversial take that was levied by FlyQuest own Papa Smithy in my replies. He said, "Controversial opinion. I love the LCS, and I'm happy to see it back this weekend." Brother, we all are.
Yeah.
That I know he's memeing, but we all are happy to have it back. Thank Christ, it's finally here. It has been way too long.
Yeah, nobody's. Yeah, I think that is a fairly controversial opinion if you're maybe an LEC enjoyer, but not here.
Nope.
we are happy it's back. I know we didn't sound like that the way we talked a lot of this, but that's because
I don't think
there wasn't a lot of good.
Did we say anything though that was inherently like LCS bad? Because I don't think we did. There are things that we want to see, but I don't think we ever said anything that was like, you know.
It's just basically like stuff that would probably be good for the league. And it's not like LCS is dead, or to us, like there are people who say blah 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 it's dead. But we just said we want to see things get better. And we pointed out what we want to get better. We gave a plan or an idea. And of course, we always throw in that moving it wouldn't be a bad idea. And that'll probably never happen. But it would probably help. So, it's an indoor game. It doesn't hurt to put it in places that snows because it doesn't matter. It's inside.
Yep. Oh, man. All right. On that note, I'm going to check us out from here. Spend some time with the wife. Been on video games a lot over the last few days, so going to take a breather tonight. Tomorrow, don't know if I have anything going on, but Dune on Friday, so it should be fun. At the best IMAX theater in the world.
Yeah, you're probably going to have a ton of fun.
I am. Me and that Dune popcorn bucket.
Is it just you going by yourself?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Emily didn't see the first one, so I'm just going to see it front row, just me in a sold out theater.
I was going to say I might be going alone too, so.
Emily said I didn't ask her. There's a reason why I didn't ask. What?
Yes.
What did you say? Nothing. What did you say? I love you.
No, what did you say? I
said there's a reason why I didn't ask.
I'm pretty sure I watched it alone, but it was like on a plane, and she tried to watch it a little bit with me, but she kept like tuning out because she was bored and she listened to her own music, and she was like, "I don't really remember it." And I was like, "Yeah, because you didn't watch it."
Emily,
I get confused easily sometimes in movies, and I ask questions and it annoys David.
getting confused at.
Okay, that does annoy me
I
too.
do not talk during movies in general, but.
What? No, how do you ask a question without talking?
No, I'm saying I don't just like chit chat during movies while I'm saying it. I'm saying I get confused.
Does Emily do this thing that Sam does where at a movie theater she doesn't whisper, she just asks the question?
No, she does a good job of whispering.
She does whisper?
Yeah, there were times where she didn't that I was like, okay, come on.
Sam whispers now because at the beginning she would just be talking and I'd be like, whoa.
That's you're disrupting somebody if you're disrupting me.
Granted, I count. I'm in India, so it
yeah. All right.
It doesn't matter. My theater maybe has like 10 people lately because.
We should probably end this though before both of us get in trouble with our wives.
True.
We'd like for this podcast to exist tomorrow with 4 balls still intact. That'd be preferable. All right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you later. See you on the next one. Adios.
Adios.